So, Fox Red Labrador, in for a little bit of gun dog training. Owners are just getting into the theatre or the hobby or the way of life, call it whatever you want, of working and training gun dogs. Good girl. So we're just going to have a look at her for the next couple of weeks, just to put some basics into her, put some fundamentals into her to set her up correctly for her further journey. As you all know, training a gun dog never stops. People say, cool, how long does it take to train a gun dog? You don't stop. Every day until the day they die, you're either training, reminding, revising, tweaking, making quicker, making faster, making more responsive. So it never ever ends, never ends. So she is, I think she's about 3.5, 4. And another question, can you teach old dog new tricks? Yes, you can. Surprisingly, if you find the source that connects with them to be able to learn new skills, food, play, fun, a tennis ball, a rubber chew, a bowl of kibble, whatever. Find that source, which then gets their engagement, which then gets their focus, and then yes, you have their attention enough and their focus enough to be able to teach them new skills. So yes, it is true. So here we go. I'm actively walking away from her. All right, she knows I've got a bit of kibble in my pocket, but I want her, with this very first initial stage of us getting to know each other, we've done all that decompression. She's had time to sniff, she's had time to build up a scent picture, she's had time to get used to her new surroundings. Now we need to start working on a relationship. She needs to see me in a certain way of light, that she looks up at me in a respectful way. She looks up at me in a way that I'm going to give her instruction and that she's going to be able to follow that, because if she does, positivity will come. In her case, she'll get to go out and retrieve a dummy. In her case, she'll get to go out and pick up something and come back. She's a retriever. That's what she loves to do. So walking away from her, I actively want her to be comfortable in my presence, to be comfortable in my company. But if she does get distracted, we're using her name. Another original thing in the gun dog world, unlike other or potentially other working disciplines, we use the individual dog's name more than you would in other fields. It's a command, it's a release command, it's used to give us a command in a lot more different ways. So I want her to hammer in the fact that she knows her name, because later on down the line, if she doesn't know who she is, she's not going to be as effective working in a pack. She's not going to be effective when all I or the owners want is to handle her and leave the other dogs sitting there doing nothing. Amber. So it's not about come, it's not about sit, it's not about stay. It's when you hear your name, look at me, give me your attention, give me your focus, or if you are further away from me at this stage, come back to me. So we're not overloading her or overbearing her with 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 or 12 different commands. Amber, it's just her name. She hears her name and she gets rewarded for acknowledging just that. Later on down the line, when we're going to be feeding in stop whistles and so on and so forth, things will change. I don't want you to return to me. I want you to stay there because I'm going to handle you. But at this early stages of her training, everything revolves around her name, for those reasons which I've just pointed out. Actively following me now, this is really good, because I want her to see I am the well or the font or the whatever you want to call it, of everything that she needs. When she's distracted, Amber, calling her back to me, good girl, I'm rewarding her just for being in my presence, just for being near me. That then later on, when we do take her out into the shooting field or in a high stimulus environment where there's feathers, partridges, hares, rabbits, whatever you want to call them, running around, she is less reluctant or less likely to bugger off, because we've taught her that being around us is nice, is positive, is pleasing, is a happy place to be. Good. So we're cracking on with this, which is really good. And this in turn encourages the eye. You can see this. encourages the eye. She's looking at me more. She's continuing to look at me for longer periods of time. Good girl. And all the time she's walking beside me, looking at me, loosely, she doesn't know it yet, we're feeding in a heel position. Alright, good girl. So lots and lots of things are going on here, just in the first 5 minutes of us getting to know each other. Good girl. Put a little bit of pressure on her now, see how she deals with it. Sit. Good. Good. Well done. Not giving her the reward every time, touching the end of her nose. Scent on your fingers is enough. We want her to be in the mindset of, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? The only way that I'm going to know if I'm going to get it is if I continue to work, if I continue to be engaged, if I continue to be focused. But you can see, we're getting there, making tracks. Good girl. Sit. Working hard. Well done. Good girl. So the importance of a gun dog knowing its name, because in that arena or that theatre or that discipline of working dogs, it's used in a number of different ways.